What to do, everybody? This your boy Pat coming at you once again live right here. And today is another special interviewing day because as you can see right here, I have the minions of the zoo up in here right here. Everybody say hello.
Hello.
I'm glad y'all came here and hit me with this right here. Like, what's going on, Meryl Davis up in the chat? So what we're basically gonna do today is I'm gonna do like a special interviewing stream right here where I just ask y'all a lot of questions about everything that's been happening up to this day. And if anybody can that's in the chat right now, right now it's just Meryl Davis. If you can, be so kindly as to tweet the stream now wherever you can, because I know right now with YouTube acting the way it's acting lately, it's been hard for a lot of people to get notifications and things like that. And so that's been a big worrisome stuff. But with that all said and done, it's on to everything right here. So as you see, we have right here, we have Prospero.
Hello.
And we have Rejekt.
Hey, how's it going?
We have Delahazed.
Yo,
we had Delahazed. We have Kayla.
Hello.
And we have the lucky Poptart.
Hi.
All right, so everybody's doing great. So, going great today. It's been kind of a wild week and things like that. With everything going right there. With the epidemic that's going on in the world. Plus, with things shutting down and people going with the panic buying and all that right there. We're getting through it little by little. So, all right, what's going on, Uses Rebel right here? So, one of the first questions I want to ask everybody right here is how did everybody meet? Like I said, we'll start with Prospero.
Eve was the procuress in my case. I was in chat a fair bit, and I got a message from Eve saying, "Would you like to be on a stream some night?" And she was she tucked me in with Sanguine, and Skep was on with Sanguine a lot that time. So those were that was kind of my introduction to the minions. And then that was back in March of 2018, I think. And and in June I was out of town, but I get a Discord message from Rejekt asking if I'd be interested in being a probationary member of the minions. And I was like, I'm out of town for the next 2 weeks, but yes. So that's how it came to be. I'd been in the Discord at that point, I think, for a little bit. Slowly meeting other hosts by being available when they needed people. And it was fun. And then I started, Rejekt, when was it? Last March? I guess it's been close to a year that I've been hosting.
Yeah. At least that.
So that's my arc, but it was Eve. Eve was the one that groomed me for the minions.
Yeah, you got you started.
Yeah.
All right. Same question, Rejekt.
Well, the original group, we all started hanging out when Monkey had a Discord in his server, and we'd spend the nights. We'd go in pretty much right after Monkey got done streaming and go in and hang out in the server until 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning when I was getting off work. And half the time I'd have to be muted because I was at work and wasn't supposed to be on the internet and everything. And then we just, it kind of, most of us didn't really ever smoke weed while we're doing it and everything, but it evolved from the whole, oh man, these are some really interesting conversations. We should think about recording them. So we started setting up what we considered to be our plans and everything. And so then while we were there utilizing Monkey's server and stuff, other people would come in and, at it, like when Quiz joined, he didn't necessarily join right away with the group like almost all the rest of us had. But after a week or two, we were like, no, you're part of the original group. And he's like, no, I just joined a week ago. And I'm like, nuh-uh. And so that's, whenever we got to that point with people, we just kind of was like, nah, yeah, they're part of the group. And Then we started the day after my birthday 3 years ago. We picked that day and we went from there.
All right. Let's see. On to next. Delahazed.
Well, real quick, making sure you can hear me this time.
Yeah. Yes, I can hear you because the first time I was like,
I'm like, yeah, I responded. It's like, oh, we had Delahazed, but I first got introduced to these guys because I was watching. He goes by now. Well, I don't even know what he goes by now, but Badger. I got introduced to him, right? I was watching. Yeah, I was watching when he was doing his streaming on Twitch and stuff, and then the J Kid, and through those three, I ended up hearing about Lords of the Night and Minions, so I started watching them, and eventually I got asked by, much like Prospero, if I would be interested in joining one night, and things just went from there.
Right. Let's see. Next up, let's see. We have Kara. Like I said, you want to give us your story?
I heard about Minions through like Lord of the Night when Monkey like, hey, you should watch more Minions. And then one night when my grandmother, and my step-grandfather were up watching whatever the hell they were watching at 12 o'clock in the morning, it's like, I'm scrolling through YouTube, it's like, oh, look, Minions streaming. I'll watch them. They're live. And it was Poppy's night. So I started watching. It's like, this seems really cool. I'll watch this when I can. And then in May, it was the week before Mother's Day, they were having game night. It was back when they had game night on Saturday.
Mm.
And they were playing Jackbox.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, do you have a Discord? It's like, yeah, I have a Discord. I remember my password somehow. I never used Discord until Minions, and then I jumped in the stream.
Now you can't get off it.
Yeah.
I know. I can't get off it, and now I'm like mods and like different servers. Like, this is my life now.
We're a gateway drug to Discord.
And then it's like, for a while there in the Minion servers, like, who's Florida goes? It's like, it is I, Kara. Because everyone's like, who's Florida goes? Ah.
Look, we like sameness. We don't like change.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
suspicious.
And is that
No, Meryl Davis. She said game night.
Oh gosh. I used to laugh so hard watching Game Night. I think Stickman.
All right, was that everything here?
I like Duck Fight. Because they were always quacking.
Oh. Are you still going?
Oh, no, and then, yeah. That's pretty much my arc of Minions. And then I came in like August. I was asked to become a Minion in August, and then 3 months after my probation period, I was in voice chat with Rejekt. It's like, oh, you're a full-time Minion. It's like, I'm excited for this date. It's like, why? I get to become a full-fledged Minion. It's like, wait, you're not already a full-fledged Minion? It's like, no. It's like, we're going to change that. It's like, okay. And that's my Minion mark.
All right. And last but not least, we got Poppy. I say, you want to tell us your story?
Yeah, it's much like Rejekts. I was one of the originals in Monkey's Discord, and like she said, we were always on voice chat, like constantly, and I was on longer than her because I have insomnia, and at the time I did not have a job. Well, no, when we first started, I had a job, but I worked at home. I took care of somebody in their home, so I was there all the time. And we just we're always talking, and then like we'd have people that jumped in and just listened to us talk. We you know, the lurkers, they never really turned on their voice chat, but they were always listening to us, and they're like, why don't y'all stream this? And we were like, oh no, I know. And then eventually we started planning it, and I like the way she put it, like, oh, we just did it. No, she got hammered. It was like, do the stream now. he started panicking, and he's like, I don't know what to do. We're not ready. And she's like, we've been planning this for like 4 months. Just do it.
Look, I take all of my birthday week off. And so the only way we were going to get started was on that week. But then after that, I had to work almost every night. So
yeah, he just wrote me and he's like, I have to do the stream now. Will you get on? And I'm like, oh, okay, sure. I don't know what to do. And he's like, I don't either.
He was still the most experienced streamer.
He got on and he talked about flamingos for like 15 minutes. It was the weirdest stream ever. It was the first one, but I find it amusing. I go back and watch it every once in a while because none of us had any clue. Like, we were not comfortable at all. And then I would say probably like 5 months after that, we started having problems with keepers, like everybody's schedules. And everything. We didn't have that many back then.
We also didn't have a set schedule back then.
No, it was just whoever could grab that night go. And so it took a while for us to, bang out all the kinks in there because we had a lot of issues. So I was like, all right, you know what? Someone walk me through how to do this. Cause I have very bad vision. So it takes me a while to figure out what I'm supposed to be clicking and doing. So Hammer just jumped on and showed me how to do everything. And I had other people helping me and I started being a keeper. And then Hammer was going on and on about how somebody has to be on camera. Somebody has to be on camera because, it helps with views and stuff. And one night I just said, screw it, and turned the camera on. And I tend to do cam now just out of habit. But I mean, yeah, it's, I'm very thankful for the group. Like, I know everybody else has a cool story about how they got dragged into the group. I was starting here.
Look, I didn't have a cool story either.
Well, you're chat mom, so like we call her mom, or the chat mommy, and Hammer was the chat daddy because every time in Monkey's Discord, if anyone started crap at all, like a new person came in and started going at people, one of them would just appear out of the blue. And be like she could be in the middle of work, not even on voice chat. It just appears and it's like, wait a minute, what's happening? No.
Yes.
Hey, you didn't fuck with my friends.
Oh yeah, it's like Hammer brings up a thing right here talking about he thought the concept of the animal sponsored for the night had would have been cute, and he had the unfortunate idea of selecting a flamingo, which goes to one of my questions, like how did it go to selecting the actual avatar? Like, were you always gonna be with the tiger, or was it just like, what are we gonna use? We're gonna use like this animal or that
Hammer
animal?
just picked it.
Hammer picked the tiger, so.
Hey, we were last minute trying to figure out what to do, and he just threw a tiger up there, and it's been a tiger ever since.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, there it is, right there.
For a short period of time. Because I wouldn't stop bringing up the flamingo story. And Hammer's like, if y'all don't stop doing that, I'm putting a flamingo on there.
Yeah, we're gonna be like one day all of a sudden it's like like millions pop up and we just see like a flamingo and like, wait a minute, where'd the other one go right there? Just switch out all of a sudden.
I just think the fact that it was a flamingo is great. It's just of all the freaking creatures on this planet, it's like, ooh, pretty kind of pinky orangey bird. Let's do that.
Well, no, his reasoning was they're really weird on the fact that they are so pretty and beautiful and they look elegant, but they smell horrible.
Oh dear.
I think that might have been a commentary on women. I don't know, but
I see Mr. Adam and him in the chat like that. It's like if you guys want on, like later on we're gonna try to get you up in here. All right. All right. So with the channel right here, like with everybody set up, when you got everything going, it's like, did you decide like what I'm saying, what your whole channel was going to be about, or was it just like a fly through the seat of the pants, like whatever pops up, or we're going to talk about politics or this or that?
It's evolved over time.
Yeah, and it really depends on the person hosting. Like I think we've always kind of agreed that the person hosting kind of picks the setting, like the mood of it. Like if it's very heavy politics, or like Sanguine really likes to talk about cooking and science.
Oh yes, he does. And he be bringing up a lot of good stuff too. Like what he be like cooking and the way he be cooking, and I'm like, man, when it sounds so good, and I'm gonna cook myself.
We did initially kind of try to follow kind of what the Lords of the Night do, because we enjoyed watching them and everything. We initially, like, if you go back to most of our beginning streams, a lot of them will kind of follow that type of a deal. And then we realized we weren't, just because we enjoyed watching Lords of the Night didn't mean we enjoyed doing a stream in their same style. And so it became if you're the keeper for the night, you run it how you want to run it. And we set a couple of base rules and just said, do what you want. And it took the audience a little bit of time to get used to the fact that we didn't have a quote unquote question time anymore. If we answered your question, we answered your question, but we weren't going to set aside 10 or 15 minutes at the end of the stream to take questions.
Oh, see, and I still kind of do that. I will give them I don't do 10 or 15 minutes. I do 5 minutes. Right.
But, it still took a little while. And if you don't have time for it, if you guys just get to talk and, and everything, and then you're like, okay, well, we're going to close the zoo. It took them a little bit because they were like, where's my question time? I'm like, you don't get it?
It's not Lords of the Night. It's, I mean, that's a full dedicated half hour to, and bless them. They haven't truncated it, because some of the questions, it's like, I've thought, one of these days they're just going to go, you know what? We're going to go for an hour and a half. Your questions have broken us. It's just, and there's some people, the chat stays engaged during the stream. So there'll be questions during the stream that will come up that can get answered, especially if it's whatever's being talked about.
Yeah.
It varies from night to night. I've found it kind of depends on who's on, not just on who's keeper, but who they have on as to where the conversation goes, because people will come on, they'll have things they want to say, and the conversation, you might be thinking tonight's topic might be, and you never get near it.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of like with mine right here. It's like I'll start off with a good topic, and the thing is, I'll mess around, I'll fly through that topic right there, and I'm like, okay, so we're just gonna fly by the seat of our pants, and whatever up comes up.
Well, then you invite a zoo on, and all hell's gonna break loose.
I gotta go. My dad needs me to go out there, so I'll be going. Thank you for having me on, Pat.
All right, no problem, Kira. Let me
have a good night.
Right.
It's good seeing you, sweetie.
Take care,
good seeing you guys. Thank you. Bye.
Right.
Bye.
Okay, so all right. So if anybody who's also a part of Minions of the Zoo that's in chat right now, it's like there's a StreamYard link right there. So if you want to come in at any time, and you can come in and things like that. So when you pop in, I'll just go back with the questions I've been asking so far, and I'll ask you.
Real quick, I wanted to add on where Pop had, sorry, Pat.
Great.
Where Pop had commented on me and Hammer being stream mom and dad. The other part of that was also we learned early on that if me and Hammer had some sort of a disagreement, we could not have that disagreement in front of the rest of the group. They got very upset about it and everything, and they were like, "No, you guys cannot fight in front of us. It's not okay." And it's just there was one night where I picked an opposing point of view to Hammer just to be contrary. Hey, Hammer,
how you doing?
And we were going at it, and everybody was like, "Oh my God, you guys can't do this." And we're like, "Okay, lesson learned. We won't do this in front of you guys no more."
Yeah, I remember being in there like, okay, mommies and daddies can have arguments. That doesn't mean they're getting divorced. It's okay, y'all. Chill.
All right, before we get into our next question right there, what's going on, Hammer?
How you doing, Pat? Hello, everybody.
I'm doing good right there. So we're gonna go back like just joined. Like I said, you want to into the.
No, you kind of faded out there for a minute. I assume the question is, how did this all start, or how did I get into it?
Yeah, how did you get into it?
Yeah. Well, Rejekt actually explained most of this. We were in Monkey server, sometimes pre-show, almost always after show, just talking about what the Lords of the Night, who weren't even called Lords of the Night at that time, discussed, and then we would kind of mull over everything they discussed in our own discussion. And I don't remember who said it, but somebody said, we're having such interesting dialogue, we should probably do an after show on YouTube as well, just like a follow-up of what we thought of what the previous show would be like, and we were going to follow it by like 15 minutes to half an hour. And we actually had contacted the trio and said, hey, do you mind if we do this? And they all came back and said, no, man, do what the hell you want to do. So we were kind of just spinning our wheels talking in Discord. And then one night, Rejekt said, go ahead and go out there and start a stream. I was like, and she says, no, go do it. And I was like, I don't know how just go do it. I was like, all right. And this is going to be a train wreck. But I was like, what, we don't have a following, we just have our own selves. So the people in Discord are just going to laugh, and all I'm going to do is make everyone in our group laugh. And that would have been fine. And so I started a stream up, and I don't remember exactly who was in it. I think Costin was in it, and Poppy. Me. Rejekt, and there was one other person, I think. I'd have to go back and look. And yeah, that was the fateful stream where I thought having an avatar for every night, you just pick an animal at the beginning of the night, and that would be your sponsor, your avatar. That was a good idea. And I had gotten into a conversation with somebody else about the flamingos. They had just picked up that they had one of those plastic flamingos in our front yard, and it had gotten stolen. And I was like, you're better off without them. I said, they stink. And he's like, what do you mean they stink? I was like, well, you don't understand. When it gets hot outside, flamingos piss on themselves to stay cool. That's the reason why they stand on one leg. And I was like, they look pretty at a distance, but if you've ever been to the zoo, the entire place smells like urine. And he's like, oh, I didn't know that. So this still being fresh in my mind, I picked a flamingo as my avatar for that night. And the good thing is, it went one night. No one ever picked an avatar after that. The idea started and ended with me on one night because I just totally screwed the pooch. So that's where it started. That was, Minions of the Zoo #1, still out there. Still watch it. Still embarrasses me. And you can hear, we obviously didn't know what we were doing, and being the host, I'm like totally fumbling my lines and everything. But we got through, I think it was an hour's worth of content. And then as we went along, we started getting more and more comfortable. And I think I did another 3 or 4 more in a row before somebody else stepped in. And like Rejekt said, it kind of evolved from there. We had people who wanted to stream, who wanted to be hosts. So Rejekt and I kind of discussed, strategy. Basically what we said was hosts can do what they want. If you want to be a food stream, be a food stream. You want to be a paint stream, be a paint stream. Hosts have autonomy on their streams to do whatever they want. And it just kind of morphed from there. So if you have interest in politics, well, you're going to hit up Prospero stream or Skep stream, because then you have history and current politics and stuff like that. And if you are into gaming, you might want to hit Eve's stream because she's a backup as well. She does a lot of gaming. So I mean, if you have an interest on the net, you will find a host that's doing something close to you.
And if you just want to talk a bunch of bullcrap, just come on Saturday nights.
All streams will talk about
it. And trust me, there may be more. There may be people who tend to do things more, but I have seen, the whole Sanguine food stream thing. Mm-hmm. That he used to do science.
Yeah.
And then I'm so sorry, Carrot's not here. Then the roasted grapes incident occurred, and he was talking about having roasted grapes, and we went live with her going, "Ah." I mean, just this high pitched what? And a good half of that stream turned into food porn. And next thing you knew, food porn was like the regular thing on Tuesday. Well, what night was he doing it? Wednesday night, Tuesday nights. Then, yeah, and then the great shift.
Well, you heard the intro for our show. Whenever Quiz runs his show, he does an intro, and you hear Sanguine starting his stream, and then Inquisitor comes in the background and says, "Why the hell am I here?" All the funny things seem to happen on Sanguine streams.
Mm.
Well, and part of that was making fun of Gutenberg.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's one of Gutenberg's lines.
Mm-hmm. Hey, speaking of Gutenberg, like there was an incident with him one time. Wasn't it?
Well, which one?
Oh yeah, with Gutenberg, you know.
If you're talking about the first one on the game stream, that was an interesting night.
That was actually, and that stream's actually on Platty's channel, because that was kind of technically our first one, but we didn't have our channel up yet, and we did a game night stream, and yeah, that was a fun night.
And then there was the Kara flipping her camera on to flip off Gutenberg.
That one was an awesome time.
Right before she dropped, which was that was like the best exit of a guest ever. Just,
or the most recent one I know of, my last stream before I went on my hiatus for work, and he was yelling at Angel, so then Angel and Willow are yelling at him, and I'm yelling at him. When my daughter's too good, my 14-year-old would not cuss at him. I'm like, I'm giving you permission. You can cuss if you want to.
That and him insisting that Tailed, because you had one of your last streams before your hiatus, Tailed came on, and Gutenberg was, well, Gutenberged, so to speak, and he wanted to do Braveheart.
Yeah, that was actually great, though. I liked that. Yeah. That was so much fun. Everyone's like, no, you're supposed to cut off now. And I'm like, nah, let them do it. Let them do it.
It was priceless, because Gutenberg's Scottish accent does sound exactly as Tailed described it when Tailed broke character doing the Braveheart bit and said, "My Punjabi friend," because it came out more like a poo than William Wallace. Just put it that way. That was
yeah. Besides, like Goop being Gook, I think there was like one incident with that involved Kara.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was when she flipped him off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and everybody just gave him some whoa.
Oh yeah, well it got it. I put a little birdie told Monkey about it, and he was like, because Gutenberg came on Monkey in the morning. And it was like, wait a second, I'm being told in chat that you upset Kara. I don't know. I think I did. It's just that kind of thing. And Monkey was like, you don't do that. No, nobody messes with our Kara. And it was like, right? Yeah, he got a ration from a bunch of people for that. Well, he was mean to her, and she fought back, which was great. Mm-hmm. It was a pleasure being on that stream, because when that camera came on and she flipped the bird and then dropped, I was like, wow. Highlight reel.
We certainly have had our moments on the streams, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's Kara. Like I said, the only time I mess with her is like when she says Vaina, she can't say Vaina. She was saying everything from Vaina to Vaini.
Vainini. and then the violin incident happened, Vimelin. And to this day, if I see a violin, I think Vimelin. It's just buried in my head. Bless her heart. That was just, it was so funny, because she just was getting so frustrated about the Vienna sausage thing.
But I couldn't stop asking her to say it again, because it's adorable.
It is.
She's just adorable, like just her as a whole person.
She's tiny and mighty.
Mm-hmm.
She really is. She can be vicious in the good way of being vicious when it's required. I will never forget in that sweet voice her referencing Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez as, "Oh, bless her heart, she's such a thin-skinned little pussy." And pretty much everybody on the stream went, "What did you just say?" It's just...
Well, you know, when you speak truth to power.
Her no cookies for commies is pretty cute too. She has a whole list of people who don't get cookies.
All right. Now, before we completely derail your stream, Pat, do you got more questions?
Yeah, like I was about to jump to another question right here. Next question is like, all right, what do you feel like you bring to the men's channel right here? All right, start with Hammer since you know he just like recently joined.
What do I bring to the channel? Not much anymore. I'm kind of not retired, but because of my health, I haven't really been streaming with the group anymore. I watch every night, whether live or the next morning or something like that. So I keep my finger on the pulse of what's going on, but I don't really stream anymore. But that may change because my health has improved quite a bit. And what I'm trying to do now is I'm trying to get my system and my internet connection upgraded because I want to do some dick measuring. What I want to do is I want to stream the minions in 4K.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Yeah, and for no other reason than just to say that we did it because no one else does. I have never seen a live stream in 4K. Not at least not in the political arena. Monkey and those guys do 720 because of their connections. And I think a couple of people do 1080p and stuff like that, but I'm a computer guy, so I want to see if we can do it, kind of deal. So I bought a 4K monitor because if you want to stream in 4K, you have to have a 4K monitor apparently. And I just spoke with Comcast yesterday and upgraded my internet connection. So once I get a new router that supports the faster speed, I'm gonna beg off one of the hosts to see if I can jump in one night and run a stream for an hour at 4K. Like I said, it's nothing more than just measuring myself against everybody else, and it's just bragging rights. But I wanted to try it.
Yeah, I know, because this is like my first time real like trying this on StreamYard's whole full entire stream with my connection right there. I'm like, I hope this like really holds up real good. So far, it's
there's a little bit of roboting, but it's not bad.
Awesome. So that's robot here and there, like
every little bit. At least for me. Are you guys hearing it too?
A little bit.
Yeah.
So I hope it's not going through the stream. Like, anybody in the audience, how are we sounding? Are we roboting a little? That's why they answer right there. Like so we're gonna go to like all right, Delahazed, you've been kind of quiet right here. Like what do you feel like you bring to the stream? Or to the or to the channel?
A scapegoat.
Technical difficulties.
When everything goes wrong on the stream, just blame Delahazed.
Yeah, speaking of another meme right here, we got Chaos in the stream. Hi, Chaos.
Hey, Chaos.
Yeah, apparently she thought my name said Thick Poptart.
Hey, I put an F instead of the L for the lucky, so...
Oh.
Really?
I see it now.
I'm sorry, Pop. I fixed it in my brain.
See what happens when you get a bunch of us together.
And now thanks to Chaos right there. Every time Poptart, I'm seeing thick.
Well, I mean, I am thick. I don't know lie, but.
All right, now that we're on you, Poppy, right here, we can ask you the same question. Like, what do you?
I bring a train wreck. As you can tell.
What do you feel like you bring to the stream?
Seriously, that's it. Like, I don't know. My streams have always just been come on and talk about whatever you want to. Like, you can even ask Prospero. They get into like politics and stuff like that. I don't have any opinion. I just put on YouTube and I'm listening to them and kind of just dancing. And sometimes I forget my camera's on. So, like the one time I had Sinatra on, he's like, "What is she doing?"
Oh God, Chaos! She's on a roll.
Yeah, but Eve, yes, we know. Okay.
Okay, read it.
Oh, good. Well, okay. As far as what do I bring, I bring the I want to say the hammer down, but Hammer does that fine on his own. But no, I'm basically I'm the background person for the most part, except for Sunday nights and even Sunday. I end up talking too much on on Saturdays, not Sundays. I end up talking too much on Saturdays. But normally I'd say I'm just like the coordinator. That's what I do. Most everything ends up getting ran through me just so we have a centralized spot of what's going on.
I had Prospero.
Diarrhea of the mouth.
Yeah, but yours always sounds so much better than mine.
And you bring wonderful conversation, especially when you get on there and you talk about like politics of the day.
Well, I'm old people talk a lot. Okay, we're running out of time to say things, so we're getting it all out there. I guess, to be fair, I am interested in a lot of things, and one thing I'm getting a little bit better at is just like if there are a lot of people just having a convo, letting them have the convo, and not bye. But I do talk an awful lot. It's a besetting sin.
Your streams are strong with history, though.
Yeah, history and political science, but there's a high degree of spurgatory that can occur on my streams. A lot of rabbit holing. Somebody will bring up economics, and next thing you know, somebody's talking about indices of blah blah and this that, and it's like, hold up.
There's a cook just popped up right here, but like we have our. I said we have our. What's the word I'm looking for? We have our maximum right here. It's like if anybody,
I'll drop because I pretty much said my piece, and I'll stay in the chat.
But Delahazed says he replaced
You're roboing on for me, Pat.
Robot Pat.
Oh God. Like well, I got Delahazed right here replaced, but like which one? All right, so Delahazed said he said he's gonna go because he ain't talking much anyway. But it's like, all right, so if you're gonna go right there, like grab me on Delahazed right there. Well, if you can unmute yourself right quick.
What now?
All right, there you go. So it's like, wow, but thank you for coming on to the stream and like and hanging out with me and joining me in this like live interview stream right here. For everything right here, like thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, man.
All right, no problem, man. Anytime, streaming, like I said, like anybody's welcome to come on whenever you can get on, things like that.
All right.
All right.
I'll catch you guys in the chat.
See you later.
See you, Della. And Pat, do you need me to drop? Because who do you have in the bullpen?
Let's see. I just cook. What's going on?
Not a whole lot. How goes it?
Everything is going good.
Sounds great.
Yeah, and earlier, like Chaos said, she would come on. Well, remember, like in about her and Tally Constantine are last stream. S&M say no more. So whenever it gets a chance, like make sure you go over there and check them out. All right. Well, also welcome to the chat. Okay. So all right, Cook. So you want to tell us your story? Everything that's been going on so far. Like how'd you get into like the mains channel and like
I just invited myself on one night and let me on. So that's pretty much how it happened. Yeah. I mean, I just joined the Discord and Rejekt gave me streamable for some reasons. I still don't know why. I mean, that was the story. So.
Look, we just like to talk with people.
Yeah.
That's one of the things is that we always try to be like very open to having almost anybody on. So that we do have a short list of people that are just not allowed to stream with us, but it's a short list.
Yeah.
Well, the thing that Discord provides for us as far as information is we get an idea of if that person can have a discussion and then realize cues for when they're not supposed to talk, and know that when somebody pauses that it is their turn to talk. That's what makes them quote unquote streamable. So we kind of flesh that out in Discord first. If they spend all their time talking over everybody and yelling into their microphone and stuff like that, we don't want that kind of person on the stream. So it's kind of a proving ground for Discord first.
So pulling the egg.
We just want to make sure that the stream goes well and that people understand the cues for when to talk, when not to talk, not to, be obnoxious or anything like that. So it's really the best way to find out if someone can handle this, because on Discord, everybody could literally talk over top of everybody else. And when someone does that, we're kind of like, person probably doesn't understand how to stream. And there are certainly times where I've pulled somebody aside and said, look, if you want to get on the stream, you got to give other people a chance to talk. So, it's not like if you make a mistake on Discord where you're never going to see a stream. It just means that you have to learn the skills. And there is a skill to streaming. You have to learn, when someone else is going to say something, when you're going to say something, and make everything move smoothly.
Yeah, which goes into my next question. Like, I'm going to ask, what do you think the pros and cons of social media are today as we speak? Like when it comes to like live streaming, or when it conversation with people who like have different opinions. Like, what do you think like the status is of that right now? Okay, we'll start with Cook. Like, what do you think?
Pros and cons of social media. Well, I like social media because it lets you express yourself more. It gives you more avenues to do it. But some expressions, are
All right, Prospero.
Little mean. So.
Oh, still going?
Yeah, that's it.
All right. Prospero, like same question. Like, what do you think?
I have heard people handle differences of opinion very easily when they're, and then on live streams. Now in the minions, if there's a difference of opinion, I'd say we're pretty daggone good at, you don't ever air your dirty laundry in public. So people aren't going to get too much in each other's wheelhouse and unpleasant, like you can see on certain debate formats on YouTube, which are like, because nobody's really debating. They're just yelling at each other. And as far as the rest of social media goes, there can be good conversation. I've seen it. It's just, you have to look for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because Twitter's very hit and run, and a fair bit of YouTube is hit and run, but, I'd say in live streams, people have been able to express a point of view and maybe get pushback, and whether everybody ends up in agreement or not, it's not a big deal in at least for us. At least for us. It's a huge damn deal in other cases, I just monkey trying to debate Bronx Blogger, for example. That was ridiculous, because it wasn't a debate anyway. It was just it was monkey trying to make sense and Bronx Blogger losing his poo all over the stream, and Lispy weighing in on Bronx Blogger's side, and it was just like, stop. I don't listen to much of that content, because it's just, if I wanted that, I could turn on Sean Hannity at night and listen to people scream at each other.
Hey, Rejekt.
I think that overall what it does is it brings people, as far as, just in general, the deal of like, now we have minions that are down in Australia, minions that are up in Canada, minions that are in or a minion in France.
Mm.
You know, minions all over the world, and we, you know, even if there wasn't, like if it wasn't as far reaching, then we wouldn't have that. On top of that, as far as like what does live streaming and stuff bring, it gives you a chance to, you know, interact with people. Like honestly, one of my favorite things to do when I'm doing my live streams is interact with the audience on Saturday nights. You know, I do try to incorporate reading the chat into the stream, because without them, then I'm just talking into the wind. I mean, usually, I've got other people on with me, but I could hang out in Discord and talk with those people. And it's not that I don't like hanging out with those people. I'm just saying, you know, it brings more to it.
Oh, it does. And I mean, I've seen people in chat vehemently disagree with something that's been said on stream.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, which is why it's kind of important to watch chat. Really important to watch chat, because they may be asking questions or saying, no, you're incorrect about XYZ, which is, you know, it's not a bad thing. I mean, if somebody can like Google something really quickly after someone's made a statement and that statement's untrue, I want to know. I want someone to correct me so that I'm not putting out there false information.
Right.
Like, oops, you know, sorry, that number was wrong, or sorry that, you know.
I hear you in there right there. Okay, Poppy,
so it's the pros and cons of social media.
Mm-hmm.
Well, pros are pretty obvious. Like the Minions group itself, like in public, like if I'm in a room full of people, I don't really talk. I'm very socially awkward, and I don't know how to interact with people face to face a lot of times. And honestly, being in the group and talking has made it a lot easier for me to come out of my head and actually speak out loud. So, you know, it's good for that. It's good for interacting. It's good for people who aren't great at, and also I can't be out during the day. I'm allergic to the sun. So how am I, you know, socializing? So, you know, it's great on that part. For cons, I think we get so comfortable on the internet that we share way too much. Like, I mean, you make it so easy for people to stalk other people nowadays, because I mean they even know where you're eating, what you're eating, where you're going, you know. Mm-hmm. And you get obsessive people who like follow you around and stuff. And also, like they said with the fighting online, like that has always been kind of a Minion's role. Like just do it offline, don't go on a live stream and fight it out, because then that's just kind of the expectation that all your problems are going to be on the live stream. And it just becomes like a big drama show. Mm-hmm. You know, those always end up crashing and burning because there's only so much drama you can produce all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And before it starts just becoming like you're purposely starting stuff with other people to get the attention that you want to get. And it just, you know, spirals out of control. And we've seen that online so many times that people just go upping and upping and upping the drama until it just crashes. So I think it's great because you can become more comfortable. It's kind of like a double-edged sword. It's great because you can become comfortable with people and talking and interacting. And it's also, if you get too comfortable, it can go really badly.
I agree right there. Like, last but not least, Hammer, what you got?
Oh, I'm kind of being a computer guy, going to break it down by platform a little bit because you'll never ever catch me on Facebook. You know, so there's that. YouTube is a consumption media, so depending on whether you're a creator or not. Twitter is kind of my go-to, though. Really, I'm a huge Twitter guy, and Twitter's great because you have the option of at least trying to correct people who are making obviously stupid statements. You know, you hear people say, "Well, you know, that machine gun AR-15, dude, the AR-15s are not machine guns. Calm down," you know, that kind of stuff. So you get maybe the opportunity to straighten people out. But really, when it comes right down to it, I'm not sure that there is any serious pros to any social media. I see more of a, maybe I'm a Debbie Downer here with this, but I see more problems than I do actually see advantages to social media. The only thing I will say is that being with the minions and having them on Discord, that's been a really, really great part of my experience on the internet, because you actually, we talk to each other and we call each other Rejekt and Prospero and stuff like that. But most of us know each other by first name, and we know how people think and how they conduct their life and what they do in their spare time. We've gotten to know each other as friends off the stream, and that's been the best part of social media, actually having friends. Maybe you don't meet them in person, and that's fine, but they're still your friends who you haven't met yet.
Yeah, they are. That notion that you can't have friends in the internet is completely disproven in our Discord, because people notice if somebody hasn't been around for a day or so, like, where's so-and-so? Have you heard from so-and-so? Or remembering that something either good or bad has happened in that person's life. And how often it's a nice place for somebody to go vent or celebrate. I have big news, blah, 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 yay, or holy crap, I can't believe this. I just got fired, that kind of thing.
Well, or the other, not last week, but the week before, I had just gotten off work and I posted a message, hey, I need somebody to vent to, who's up? And Hayes jumped into VC for me and everything and helped me go off about one of my stupid employees.
And it's really nice to have that. I mean, Discord is marvelous because, you can even one-on-one call somebody if you need to, just to vent your spleen, or, and it's, I find some days that if there's nobody on Discord, when I go on, it's like, well, where is everybody? Why is there nobody to play with?
Right. I run through like 4 or 5 different servers just to see if there's anybody in VC, and then I'm like, oh, okay. I guess I'll go eat worms now.
That's why I'm a Twitter person, because if you want to get a hold of me, my phone's with me 24/7. So if you want to get a hold of me to just chat or something like that, send me a DM or something like that. I'll be happy to get online. I'm not doing anything particularly important at a given point in the day.
All right. Well, I'm going to use this time to tell you, because I've talked about it on our streams before. Hammer, there's a meeting tomorrow at 7. No, 6, not 7, 6.
6 your time.
Yes.
So I didn't even 7 our time, Hammer.
Yeah. That's something that we do. We do a lot of coordination behind the scenes that people don't see. Sometimes we'll just have a general meeting. We have a server set aside just for doing this. We'll have a general meeting with everybody. From time to time, I have meetings with just the hosts to kind of, we had some drama, and I got the hosts together and said, look, I don't impose anything on you hosts. You guys can do whatever you want, but this is a subject we just want to ignore. So don't talk about it. So you get a chance to coordinate so that everything's, to the people who are watching this show, everything seems smooth and all that kind of stuff. But there is a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes. So, and it's very important for me and Rejekt as founders of the group to make sure that the hosts, whatever issues the hosts have or questions they have, or, my job is to get stuff out of their way so they can do their job. So the lines for talking, Discord's great for that. Being able to coordinate and make sure everything goes through very easily.
All right. Was that everybody?
Discord really is probably, in many ways, when you create servers for groups of people that you want in the server, maybe the best thing about social media.
Yeah, true that. Right there. All right, so let's see, we got 6 minutes left right here. So I got all right, so I say this question right here, like I said, the best for last, and anybody in the chat can also answer this question too. Just type in your answer. But all right, so my question right here is who's your that's somebody out there on the side. Y'all can't hear it. So it's so my question is who's your favorite person? If you person right there,
Pat,
roboing.
Hmm?
You were roboing big time.
Oh God.
Didn't get the question.
Okay, so who's your favorite idol person, and if you can meet that person right there, would you? Okay, and Inquisitor just popped in the last question right here. So if all right, so who wants to?
I'll say I can't meet them because they're dead. So there we go. And I'll drop so Quiz can pop in and say hey to everybody. So
Thank you very much.
it's good talking to all y'all. Thank you, Pat.
See you
All
later.
right, Prospero. Thanks for coming on.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, Pro.
And what's going on, Quiz? You popped up right at the last minute.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. I was doing some work with my roommate. He's brought some work home, so I figured I'd help him out. And I was like, oh shit, I forgot the time. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I was an hour late, but like I said, we got time for like a good question right here. Like so the question I was asking everybody, like, all right, so we'll start with you now. Like so who's your favorite idol person, and if you could meet that person, like, would you?
Okay, like an influencer or something like that? Like someone who did something throughout history? Oh.
Yeah, anybody who you like, I'm saying like, oh, I like this is my favorite person, actor, actress, influencer, anybody that you can like
I think it would be really interesting. I've actually talked to this person before online. There was a website, Sunrise, back in the day, had a Japanese and English website. But one person that I actually have talked to, but I think it'd be kind of interesting to meet in person and actually have a long form conversation with would be Takehiko Ito. He was the one of the head animators for a lot of the Gundam series, the old Gundam series, and he's also the lead character designer and writer for the manga and the anime for Outlaw Star, which was hands down my favorite anime of all time.
I love Outlaw. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I say it's he's a great animator. He's a great storyteller and everything. And like I said, I actually have talked to him on his website. But I think it'd be cool to actually sit there and have a conversation with him.
Yeah, and like also like I said, well, I do have one special question for you, like Quizzer, like like during your nights when you host, like you paint a lot of figurines, like how did you get into that?
Back in the 90s, I don't know, just got a inspiration to go and try this game, Warhammer 40,000, and it started off with maybe 20 miniatures at first. I bought 2 squads of Space Marines and a Dreadnought. And just started painting them, and then it just kind of snowballed ever since. I've just been getting more and more minis, more and more things painting. It was funny, actually. Unprovoked, I sat there and did a total of exactly how many minis I've got. And the way the game is played is like a certain miniature with a certain weapon that you model the miniature with is worth a certain amount of points. And the way the game is played is that you and your opponent have the same number of points, and then you do the whole battle. So I went and I totaled out exactly how many points I have of all of the miniatures for one faction that I could put out on the tabletop, and I've got almost, but without factoring in some things, I've got almost 10,000 points. Now, standard tournament size games are 2,000 points. So I've been at this for a long time.
You're overachieving.
Yes, very much so. Very much so.
All right, we got that. All right, so going back to the last question, Rejekt, the question, who's your favorite idol, and if you can meet, would you?
This is probably gonna come off really corny, but like if there was somebody in the world that I idolize at any point in time, is my mom. And obviously I've already met her, so I'm doing pretty good there. As far as like people that are in a public position, I enjoy the work that they put out. I may find them to be thoughtful in what they put out for the public to see, but I don't particularly find a lot of value in putting them up on any type of pedestal beyond that, because they're likely to fall off and shatter in actually meeting them. So, my mom's been my greatest influence in my life. So, that'd be mine.
All right. Let's see. Useless Cook.
Who I like to meet? I guess Ocean Scout Card, because he's the one who got me into reading and into writing. I don't tell a lot of people this, but I actually write too. So.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, it's not very good writing, but still, I like to do it.
I like his book, The Lost Boys.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just.
Oh, is that it?
That's just one of those hobbies I like to do because it helps me out with my depression and whatnot. So, I like to thank him for that, for giving me a hobby that helps me out. So.
Yeah. All right, you're next.
Idolize, I don't really do that to anyone because I just like to see people as people. Everybody's got their flaws, you know what I mean? But like, as for inspiration, I would have to say my grandfather, which of course I met him. But he, he's the one who got me doing art, got me singing, got me, I had a lot of practical people in my life, and he's the one that taught me how to do everything else, the not practical stuff, the fun things to do. I mean, he did teach me some practical stuff too. Like I helped him put together motorcycles and everything growing up, but that was his hobby too. He used to build bikes and then, sell them back. So, I mean, pretty much he's the one that got me interested in all my hobbies.
Oh, that's nice. And like, what's going on, Ira Prostate? Like I said up in the chat right there, like you're hitting us right at the last minute right here. I'll have to ask the final person. Like, all right, Hammer, you're up.
I don't really know if I can say I idolize anybody. There are people that I'd like to meet. I would really like to meet all the minions. But personally, I think if I wanted to sit down and have dinner with somebody, it would probably be Elon Musk. I find that guy fascinating. And if it was a matter of the heart, I would probably say Catherine Winnick. She's been my crush for a long time. She plays Lagertha in the Vikings TV show, if you're trying to figure out who that is.
Oh, yeah. And everybody already knows me. Like, if you watch, like, the last interview I did right there, like I said, like, my favorite person would be like Mariah Carey. Is like, it's like in a way, it's like I would like to meet her, but then I wouldn't like to meet her because I know she could be a diva, and I'd be afraid to catch on that one day where she's being all bitchy and things like that, and just destroys everything. So
yeah.
All right, well, with that right, go ahead.
Yeah, so that's a good point.
Yeah. All right, but with that right there, like we have reached over the hour right here. Like, I just want to thank everybody who came here and joined me today. Like Inquisitor, came at the last second, but better late than never. All right, we had like Useless Cook, One Ton Hammer, Lucky Poptart, we had Rejekt, we had Prospero, we had K-Rob, we had Delahazed. Like thanks to everybody that came out here and joined me for this stream right here. Like y'all been wonderful, and I love y'all for doing this. Like I love the minions. Like, y'all invited me on, like doing times and things like that. Many a times that y'all put me on, and I've enjoyed it. And like I try to catch it as much as I can. But with my other job and all that right there, where I have to be up like 3 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes I catch it, sometimes I don't. Forgive me for that. But for every, if you ever want to check out the minions that you haven't already, you catch them every night around 30 p.m. Central Time, like whatever it is in your zone. I don't know right there. The description to be like links to be like in the description box right there. Also, the link down to like Poppy's GoFundMe, like for her thing right there. We still don't want Poppy's eye to pop right there. So if you can, like get what I'm saying, get whatever you can to help her out with that. And I haven't put it up in there yet, but I think Blind Press also has something that y'all like y'all share every once in a while. So I find I'll put that up there as well. Excuse me right there. Yeah, it's like if you haven't already, what I'm saying, check them out, the channel, like, subscribe, share, and share my channel as well as best you can. Cause I'm still with this, brand new. We're all trying to make it, especially right now. And I'm saying this time right here, where we're dealing with like what's going on in the world right there, and also dealing with YouTube's craziness. But like again, thank all y'all for coming out here, like and streaming with me, things like that. And to everybody all in the chat, who joined, I love all y'all, man. Keep supporting us, and everything we do. But this is your boy Pat, always saying, until we meet again, good morning, good evening, and good night. We're up out of here.
See you
guys. Have fun.
See you guys.
Bye.
Thank you, Pat.